Cooking with Big Daddy one more time. Special guest today. I get the great privilege of watching my 14-year-old stepdaughter, KK, make. What are we making, sweetie? Speak up. Speak up.
Oatmeal Raisin Cookies.
Okay, she's making oatmeal raisin cookies. These came off of food.
By Bev.
By Bev. Okay, and as you can see, one of the things that we've tried to teach her, if you look at the counter, she has pretty much all her stuff in front of her. Okay? And I'm going to leave the show up to her in just a minute. But one thing we've tried to teach her is that get all your stuff together. And sometimes people go ahead and measure it out. Sometimes they won't, they won't get it. But the worst thing that you can do is be sitting here reading a recipe and then try to go and hunt all the stuff you're doing while you're trying to mix this and mix that and mix this. Now, I cannot bake. Look, if it's not for the timer on the oven, I have trouble with the chicken pot pie. So, I'm going to leave it up to her. It's her show. I hope you enjoy it. As I said, some people wanted to see kids cooking, and she can do this. She's got her stuff ready. So, sweetie, it's all up to you. So, it's trying to rock and roll. Speak.
Okay, what is the first thing that you're going to do?
I'm doing a double batch. So you're going to need 4 cups of all-purpose flour. And you scoop it off to get the right amount. I scoop it off into a bowl so I don't get extra. Pour it back in, and that's 1.
Speak up louder.
That's 1.
This is your cooking show.
This is 1 cup, and so is this. Well, you need 4 cups, not 2. I'm sorry.
Well, you had already said you were doubling the recipe. Now she's helping out making these cookies for a bake sale.
Can you get me another bowl?
Yeah, big bowl.
Just scrape it off with the flat side of a butter knife.
Basically, what she's doing, she's not telling. She's leveling this off. You have to understand something. Baking is a formula, it is totally different than cooking. If it says 4 cups, it means 4 cups. If it says a half a cup of this, it means a half a cup. A little different than cooking. You can kind of add and you can kind of do this as you go. And
Certain parts of baking, you cannot do that.
It's a formula. It's a formula. That's what it is. That's 3. All right, it's your show. Go. Get on with it. Don't be shy.
This is 4.
Now, what temperature does the oven need to be preheated to for this recipe? Louder.
You need to preheat it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do that for you.
Thank you.
Why don't you just pretend like you're screaming at me so then everybody can hear you?
We're putting all of the dry ingredients into a bowl first.
Now, why are you doing all the dry ingredients first? Why are you putting them all into a bowl?
We're going to whisk all of the dry ingredients together. We're going to set them aside.
Now, she was returning what she just finished using to its original position.
We're gonna cream all the wet ingredients together, and we're gonna slowly add this in.
Slowly add the dry ingredients? Okay.
Yes. Now we need baking soda, and we need 2. So we're doing a double. We need 2 teaspoons.
And you can see what she's doing. She's basically leveling that spoon off in there to make sure that it's actually two tablespoons?
Teaspoons.
2 teaspoons.
And now we need
baking powder.
2 teaspoons of baking powder.
But you're using an actual 1 teaspoon spoon, right?
Yeah, and I'm just filling it up 2 times.
And you can scrape that on the top to level
Yes,
off.
most baking powders come with a little ridge right here for
Perfect.
exactly that purpose.
Now, hang on a second. Before you do that next one, let's show that little place where you can
Get up
level
there
it
closer.
off. Come up right here, right here.
Right there. You just scoop up an amount, and I kind of like to do that so you can get the back part of it, and then you just scrape.
Okay. And now that's 2 teaspoons.
And now we need 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And kosher salt is different than table salt. Because ours is like that, I just fry it off.
Yeah, we have a little shaker top, and of course when you're measuring out for baking or even cooking,
We need 2 teaspoons.
we have to take that shaker top off.
It's 1. That's 2.
Here, I'll put the shaker top back.
Oh, sorry,
No, it's fine. That's good.
and now we're done.
Yeah,
Get
definitely
our
have to put that shaker top back on, because next time somebody uses it, might accidentally.
Take our whisk, and we're just gonna whisk the flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt, kosher salt together with a whisk. You don't have to do anything fancy.
Just make sure it's incorporated, right?
So that when you put it into the cream mixture, you don't have clumps of one particular ingredient, right?
And now we can just set that aside, people. And now we have our. We're going to combine all of our wet ingredients, and we are going to do 2. I'm going to use shortening as optional.
That's the bowl for the eggs.
I have one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He was trying to help her be prepared with the
1
bowl
cup
for the eggs.
of butter, and that is 2 sticks. And since we're doubling it before, which is why we're just gonna use.
Yeah.
I already have one.
Yes, you can use shortening rather than using butter, but
So I'm just gonna do it twice since I don't feel like using the double one. So if we need, I have to use the double one.
you have to use the big one. Now you're gonna have to explain how you measure it.
So if you need 1 cup of shortening, then you have to fill the water up to the 1 cup line, and then you take.
Now why would you do that instead of just pushing all the shortening down into the cup?
I don't know.
I'll give you a little hint.
The directions say so.
No, there's so much air that is in shortening because it's whipped,
Well, I knew that.
for one thing. And when you take your shortening, if you were trying to make a real cup or whatever your directions are for, and you're trying to pack it in, there may be too many air pockets, so you may not actually have the correct amount.
So you just spoon a little bit in there, and you have to push it down. And as you push it down, and the more you put in there, the water level will rise. And you want to put, you're gonna want to put Crisco in there until the water level rises until 2.
So like if you need a cup of butter or a cup of shortening,
Then you would fill
the measuring cup to 1 cup,
yeah.
and then you'd put in your shortening.
It's at 2 cups now.
You'd put
you
in
pour
shortening
out
and
the
push
water.
it down.
Just pour it out. You can leave a little bit, doesn't really matter. And then you just put it into the mixer. This is a stand-up mixer called a roundabout.
Oh, I learned something
Sweet.
new. I did not know that it was called a roundabout. I just thought it was a mixer. And I know a lot of people have the new KitchenAid or old-fashioned KitchenAids and whatnot. Ours is an Oster.
Antique.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's probably about 40 years old.
We're just gonna do the same thing again.
Okay. What? Alright.
She used up all the shortening.
Well, I mean, we've
are we
used it.
going?
Yeah, you're good.
We don't have it in the
We're just gonna spoon that in there. Again, until it reaches
The 2-cup level.
2 cups. And then
Yeah, there's so much air in that it'll, when you push it down, it'll
we'll remove the
rise.
air.
Yeah, because shortening is whipped.
That's why we're using a liquid glass measuring cup. Push it down. And this is also how you measure coconut oil. And it's at 2 cups now. And again, we're just going to drain it. Leave it a little bit of water if you want. You don't have to. And we are done with that. This is the only liquid.
Now, what's your next ingredient that goes in this?
And now we're going to put in 1 cup of sugar. And since sugar is a dry ingredient, you have to use your you have to use the dry ones. And the reason why you're not using the dry didn't go in with your other dry ingredients is because you have to cream this with the butter to make your first paste, which is the base of the whole entire dish or the cookies. And we're doing 2 cups of this since you need so we're doing a double batch, and that's 1. And then we're doing our second one. And you can do the same thing. And pour it in there. And we're done with our regular sugar now. And now we need to put in our
Speak up a little.
our light brown sugar, and when you put brown sugar in, it's still a wet, dry ingredient, so you have to put it in. But it's a little bit different because you have to pack it in. You have to pack it, and you can pack it with a fist. You can pack it with your fork, or a knife, or a spoon, whatever. And you should pack it down pretty hard so that when you dump it into a bowl or whatever you're using, it should stay in the form that it was in. As of right now, it's kind of hard, you know. You can just break it up. And we need 2 cups of this. That and then I'm just gonna push it down. I'm just gonna use my fingertips and just push it down like so. We need a little bit more. And that is about 1 cup. And as you see, it maintained its shape, which means you packed it. I hate brown sugar. I hate it.
Brown sugar has a lot of that
Molasses.
syrup left over. Molasses?
It's molasses.
Molasses. So it's kind of wet.
And it will stick to your fingers. And again, you're just gonna push it down.
A little louder, sweetie.
And if you don't pack it down, it won't be the actual measurement, which means you won't have enough. And then you push it. Turn its shape. The only time you would not pack brown sugar is if it said do not pack it, because most of the time it says, you know, brown sugar firmly packed. Some will also specify whether you need light or dark. It doesn't really matter. Now we're going to put in our eggs, and I like to use a bowl. And I need 4, so you crack it.
Now, why do you like to put yours in a bowl?
Individually, just in case you get any shells, because if you put it in your mixture, then it's going to be harder to get out the shells. So I like to crack them individually one by one into a separate bowl. And then obviously you start away, you put it in your compost pile or whatever. We put ours in compost. And you need 4, which we're doubling it, which would be 2. If you were doing a single batch.
Now, just a tip in case you do get
You can
an
wet
eggshell
a spoon or wet your finger and
with water
and
to
just
get it out.
Now we're done with that. Crack our last egg. And
Now, Lane has a fast cracking method, but
yeah, well,
we haven't we haven't exactly gotten that down pat ourselves.
Okay, and now we just need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now, you're supposed to use vanilla. We don't have any vanilla because it's Mom's fault. So we're just going to be using pure almond.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an eggshell in it.
We're just going to be using pure almond extract, which you won't be able to taste the difference.
There's a touch of difference, but it's
You
a
won't be
good
able to
flavor.
taste it, so,
It's a nice flavor.
You need 2 teaspoons of vanilla regularly, so we're going to need 4. And vanilla is a nice deep brown, and ours is just going to be a white, so that's a little bit of a difference.
Because it's almond flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that we're done with all of our ingredients, we're just going to wait till it cooks for ours, and we're going to get a spatula. Ours is just red. Some people will call it a rubber scraper. I call it a spatula. Some settings will have cream on there. Some of them won't. Ours is not, so you can just, for us, we're just going to put it about a 4 or maybe a 5. Now you're just going to blend it all together.
Alright, so we're going to let her get that all
Now
blended.
You can either scrape the side, like stop it and scrape it, you know, just to make sure. And you're going to want to scrape it, because if you don't, it may not get all the ingredients on the bottom.
Alright.
Okay, so this is the consistency and then it should look like. It's going to look a little bit weird. That's what it should look like. Looks a little bit lumpy. It's fine. Now we're going to gradually add our dry ingredients. And I'm just going to take the whisk that I used to whisk it, just put a little bit in there. And I like to put a little bit at a time. And then we're going to go, I don't like getting flour everywhere. You can spread that out if you want. Doesn't really make a whole bunch of difference. I'm just going to scrape that off so when I set it down it won't get everywhere.
She's got a little hack.
And I just like to lay it over there so when you turn it on the flour, at first it will spew everywhere. So I just like to do that for a second. Then you can hold it and it doesn't really matter.
What happens if it gets caught in the paddles?
It won't. See? And then that will reduce the suffering around. Spatula again. And we're going to scrape the sides to get the rest of the flour. Scrape the bottom as well. Just to really get it all mixed together. Flour loves to get trapped on the very bottom, so that's the thing. Yeah, Mom, you want to hold this?
Sure.
Okay, what she's doing is she just cleaned the
What?
paddle. What she's doing is she cleaned the paddle. You cleaned the paddles off, right?
That's good.
There you go. Tastes
Yeah,
good?
that's good.
Smells good?
Yeah. That smells really good.
But it has to be mixed a little bit more, you said? I don't know.
Just a little bit more so you can really get the sides and the bottom because flour tends to travel to the very bottom of the bowl. And then if you don't get that when you get to the very bottom, you'll have a lot of crumbs and then they won't form into they won't form very well. I'm just going to scoop that off into there.
I think it's.
No, it's not.
There you go. Okay, you're right.
I just turn that down really low so I can really get down there. Sometimes slower is better. Yeah, that looks good. I kept the bowl from the dry ingredients so we can put our 100% whole grain, old-fashioned grain oats. So what we're going to do is we need 6 cups of oats. That's 1. And you don't really have to level this off because it really doesn't matter as long as it's not heaping over the top. 2.
And as you can see, I'm the sous chef. I'm the helper. Let's open this door so we can get on it.
Or 5. And then I'm just gonna.
You gonna pour the rest of it? Is it gonna be enough?
No. I need just a little.
A sniveling. There you go.
I can just. Oops. I'll just pour it. Okay, so now that's about 6 cups. And then you need 1 to 1.5 cups of raisins. Now I didn't get my half cup out because I didn't realize. Oh, I don't need it, never mind. If you don't know how to add fractions, you kind of need to. Because we need, let's see, 1 to 1/2, and 1 plus 1 is 2, so we need 3 cups of raisins. How many cups are here? No.
You
Well,
just have
how
to-
many ounces does it say?
Just measure
12.
it.
I don't know.
Measure it.
You can use the whole. If just use the whole thing, that's fine. That'll work.
Okay.
'Cause
I'm just gonna.
raisins are something that you can take away or add a little bit more
It's not gonna do a whole bunch
on
with it. It's kind of
on
like
certain
chocolate chips.
recipes. Yeah, Chocolate chips are the same way.
So I'm just gonna dump this whole entire thing in there. Now you don't have to do this. No. You don't have to do this, but I like to go ahead and I'm just gonna use my hands. My hands are clean, and kind of just mix this together, and at least break up the raisins because it'll be hard for the mixer to break them all up. And you know, you don't have to. I just do.
Because you're going to be mixing that in together
Yeah,
anyway.
so this not an actual step. I just go ahead and do that just because. And you can use your hands or you can use a spatula. It doesn't really matter. Or rubber scraper or whatever you want to use. And yeah. So now we're just going to if yours has a setting to stir, for ours we do, and it's 1. Go ahead and do that because you have to stir these in. But since we're using a mixer. Wow. Okay.
Remember, it's thick, so yeah.
That's great. Just do that real quick. You can put it all in once, or you can not do it all at once. Section it off. I'm just gonna dump the whole entire thing in there, and hope for the best. Okay, dokie. So now we're just going to jump it in there. I think we're going to section this off because there's so much. And the bowl is like so big. So we're just going to take our, and it's already coated in the oats and everything. Okay, and we're just going to, I'm going to have to start in.
Hand stir it.
Yep.
And sometimes that's what you have to do,
Is that
is
for no reason?
hand stir.
Okay, so we're going to take our mixture. I'm just going to go over here. Some of this now. Take a spoon again. Scrape these suckers again. And after we scrape them, we'll be done with them.
While we let her get that all mixed together, we'll be right back.
Okay, so we have our mixture. Now I had to take it out of the roundabout because the mixture was too thick. Even without the raisins and oatmeal, so I had to eventually take my spoon or whatever, mix it around, and then it was too thick for the spoon. I had to use my hands, and I sprayed my hands with a little bit of cooking spray and did that. And now they're ready, and I have my cooking pans or sheets or whatever sprayed. And,
Spray? What kind of spray?
just non-stick, like ham or something. And now we're just gonna take them and we're gonna roll them into balls like this.
About what size are those?
I don't know, maybe an inch.
Okay, so like a meatball size.
Or really whatever size you really want them, and make sure that when you roll them, they are consistent sizing, so you don't have cookies that cook faster or slower than others.
How far apart
I'm
should you
just going to
place
say
them?
about an inch, you know.
That's probably about 2 inches.
Is it?
Yeah, that's about 2 inches.
And also, you're going to have to push them down just a little bit, not a lot. But if you don't push them down, then the outside and everything will cook just fine, but in the middle, when you bite into it, it won't be raw. So actually, I'm going to switch this over just a little bit.
It won't be fully cooked.
No, it won't fully cook like that. So this is what it looks like. And
Now, is it necessary to roll them into balls, or can you do them other ways?
I mean, really, this is what I mean, you can use 2 spoons, you know, and it really doesn't matter how you do it as long as they're on and they're pushed down enough, because, you know, if you don't push them down, they won't be cooked all the way, and that would be a gross cookie.
But you like rolling them out
I like
because...
rolling them out with my hands.
Why do you like rolling them out?
I don't know, I feel like I have more control than with spoons. I feel like I don't have any control with spoons. It doesn't matter what kind of dough it is, I just like using my hands.
You feel like you can get a better consistent size that way?
Not just the sizing, I just feel like I have more control overall.
Okay.
I don't like using spoons. And we're gonna put these in the oven at 350, like we said earlier, and we already have ours preheated. And when you stick them in, you're going to put them in for about 11 to 15 minutes. If you have more than 2 racks, put it on the center rack. But if you don't, it's not a huge deal. We have 2. I think we have more that we can put in. We just have 2.
Yeah, we just have 2 racks.
And just make sure that they're done, but how long you cook them really depends on if you want them chewy, or if you want like chewy and soft, or if you want them kind of hard and crunchy. I want ours to be, you know, in the middle, not super chewy, but you know, not hard either. What's the measurement for this pan size, Mom?
You mean the size?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit bigger than a 13 by 9 pan, like a casserole pan. It's probably 12 by 15, roughly. It's just it's a standard. I think they consider that an air bake pan, because it's, I don't know if you can see that.
It's very thin inside.
Yeah, it's got that air. These are very old. That's why they've got, you know, the bottoms of them look burnt
Like
and stuff.
ours on our pan.
It's an air bake pan, is what it is.
By these pans, I can get about 16 of them with the inch ball size. And we will come back to you when they're all done.